What's up, everybody? I am back with a new movie review, and it's actually one of my childhood favorites, 101 Dalmatians. I remember having like a bunch of Disney books based off the animated films when I was a kid, one of which was this kind of thick book of the 101 Dalmatians, like book adaptation of the film. Before I continue, please do me a huge favor and hit that like button. Been having some issues with the like button system on YouTube recently. Not sure what's going on with that, but I just want to make sure that everything is working properly. But also leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think of the animated 101 Dalmatians, as well as follow me on my Twitch and YouTube channel where I react to videos, review movies, TV shows, or comics, as well as I stream tons of video games, which is going to be a lot this year. So buckle up, buckaroos. So anyway, like I said, this is a Walt Disney production. This is based off of a book written by Dodie Smith, not too much like P.L. Travers with Mary Poppins, but unlike P.L. Travers, I doubt that any other book or whatever that Disney, they were more than happy to allow Disney to adapt their properties without much fuss, like P.L. Travers put up with Disney. It's directed by three people: Wolfgang Reitherman, Hamilton Luske, and Clyde Giordanomi. It had a budget between $3.6 to $4 million and raked at the box office $303 million, which I imagine probably close to $1 billion by today's standards. The voice cast Rod Taylor as Pongo, J. Pat O'Malley and Fred Warlock plays Horace and Jasper. Kate Bauer plays Lisa. Kate Bauer and Lisa Daniels voices Perdita. O'Malley voiced the Colonel as well. Warlock also voiced Inspector Graves. Betty Lou Jerson voiced the infamous Cruella de Vil. She also voices Miss Birdwell. Martha Wentworth as the nanny. Also voiced Lucy the White Goose, and Queenie, one of the cows. Ben Wright voices Roger Radcliffe. Bill Lee did the singing voice for Roger. Lisa Davis voices Anita Radcliffe, the wife. Dave Frankham as Sergeant Tibbs. Also voiced Scotty the Skye Terrier. Tom Conway as the unnamed collie. Tudor Owen as Old Towser the Bloodhound, and also the truck driver. George Pilling as Danny the Great Dane. Ramsey Hill as the unnamed Labrador Retriever, also voices the TV announcer. And Queenie Leonard and Marjorie Bennett voices Princess and Duchess, two other cows. So this is set in the 1950s. Now, I can't help but think about the Cruella remake film, which I won't even classify as a remake, more so as like a prequel to 101 Dalmatians. And it kind of sort of sets up this film. Uh, and honestly, out of all the supposed remakes, I don't hate Cruella as much as I do most of the other ones. I think I did like a YouTube tier list of all the Disney remakes, and I put Cruella pretty high because, as I explained multiple times, that's more so a prequel more than like a remake. So the director of that film have more to work with rather than doing like another shot for shot of the same thing. And I actually like Emma Stone as Cruella. She did pretty doggone job. This only wish in that film, lean into the villain and stop trying to make her sympathetic. She skins animals for their fur. She's a freaking villain. Just embrace it. But I don't know, sure if they was like worried about PETA at that time. I don't know. Because around that time, people was really on some kind of crazy tear with a lot of stuff, down to people's phrasing of languages. It's kind of crazy with them. Anyway, so we see Pongo feeling bad, not just for himself, but his owner, who he calls his human pet, Radcliffe, who living like a bachelor pad. He is an aspiring songwriter. Not sure how much. I'm pretty sure he was doing decently at the time, because it's not like he was looked like he was hard for money or anything like that, but wasn't famous at the same time either. But he wanted a mate as well as one for his owner, and he's looking out the window, and he's looking at all these dog owners walking by, and he's sitting there like no, and he come across eventually Anita and Perdita, but I find it kind of odd, personally, and it's more so probably in the book too. But all the other dog owners look exactly like their dogs. Why is it that neither Radcliffe or Anita not wearing anything black and white to blend like their dogs? Because they're Dalmatians. It's kind of like, oh, they gotta be special in some kind of way, so they gotta stand out. But I don't know. You gotta have some level of like resemblance to their dogs, because everybody else we see so far, who has dogs as pets, look exactly like them. It's kind of weird. So, Pongo tricks his owner to think it is after 5, because he scheduled himself to work on his songwriting material up until 5 p.m. So he changed the clock on the nightstand to look like 5 p.m. His watch says obviously differently. So he got his owner to take him out to the dog park where he saw Anita and Perdita going into. So he pretty much set up like a meet cute with them, forcing them to fall into a lake, which then they start to like kind of giggle and fall for each other. Typical romantic stuff. But then it's only been like a handful of months before they start to, get hitched. But again, it was the 50s, but I don't even know if it's not enough time for them to even move in yet, let alone just immediately start getting hitched. I don't know. They move it like it is dog years or something. I'm not sure. It's kind of weird. Even for the 50s, it's kind of like, okay, that's like kind of fast. And they seem to be in a church with no like family and friends as witnesses. I get you want to do a small wedding, but you don't have to. You don't have no parents. I don't know. I'm thinking too hard into like a movie based on like a book, which obviously probably wouldn't have showcased that either. So they end up getting a place together, hiring a nanny. Not sure how they can afford it. Not sure what Anita does for a living. But eventually, Perdita gets pregnant with 15 puppies. And I didn't realize how long it's been since I've seen this movie, because maybe it's a Mandela effect or something. But for a long time, my brain just registered this dog had 101 puppies. And I'm thinking, like, they still gonna be counting. But no, she birthed only 15 and still managed to survive that birthing process. And that was kind of crazy, like 15 puppies, which I don't doubt that is feasible in real life, but probably even more of a miracle that the female dog would survive birthing that many puppies. The end comes bursting in Cruella de Vil, who, well, I'm getting ahead of myself because, like, I kind of skipped because she was still kind of Perdita was still kind of pregnant, and Cruella de Vil, which the first time we hear the famous Cruella de Vil theme song from Radcliffe, who eventually made big money off of naming of this woman, who was schoolmates with Anita, which curls to the live action remake, which stayed true to that. It was like, yeah, these two were schoolmates, and Cruella found her, so-called being like a supposed friend to Anita, and Anita kind of excusing somewhat of Cruella's behavior up until a point. And nobody likes her. Nobody in the house likes her. And they end up binding themselves 3 weeks to get Cruella out of the house, because clearly, for some reason, she's under the assumption it was like okay that she'll take all those any puppies this dog birthed off their hands without asking what she intends to do with them or whatever. I'm pretty sure she will have lied, but why would she? But why is this woman under the assumption that she just go ahead and, sure, she was paying them for it, but still, it's like why would you want a woman who knows like an ass? But I don't know, it's just kind of weird that she just, then once the babies are born, here she comes bursting in. How did she come on in without a freaking key? She's pretty much trespassing at this point. But Radcliffe pretty much like stood up to her and told her to kick rocks. But would that be the end of it? Heck no. So she then eventually, while Roger and Anita are out, Roger and Anita are out walking their dogs, with the nanny home watching over the puppies. Horace and Jasper break and steal the puppies and hiding out in an old DeVille estate, which is the same estate that we saw in the, if you watch the Cruella film, that used to be the one that Cruella eventually took over after the woman who killed her mom, or adopted mother, and took over. But obviously she didn't stay there that long and got her own little more ritzy place. She is pretty much dilapidated, and Horace and Jasper is using that as like a hideout while the heat has died down, so she can eventually skin the puppies. So Not sure why the nanny didn't like give like a description. Didn't make it clear that she gave like a police description of the crooks that broke in, so there can be like an APB out on the likes of these crooks who have distinct faces. So somebody would have saw them head out into a particular direction or something. But anyway, obviously the family is distraught, and Pongo came up with the idea of using the twilight bark, which is pretty much like a distress signal for all the dogs in London. So he barks, is heard by one dog, who by another dog, and another dog. Eventually came down to a old German Shepherd dog, who sends out his, called the sergeant, sends out Tibbs, the cat, to look at the old DeVille estate, because they could have sworn they saw guys who fit the description entering that estate. The cat sees not only the 15 puppies, but also many other Dalmatians she planned on skinning, which adds up to 101. So Tibbs sends word back, which gets back to Pongo and Perdita, who decides to leave out and follow the trail follow the trail back to the estate, which is like, yeah, they knew Cruella had something to do with it. It was like she was the only obvious suspect. So thanks to Tibbs, they managed to get the puppies. Pongo and Perdita pretty much like mauls Horace and Jasper, holding them off long enough to get the other puppies out of the building. So they end up going to this farm because there's like a snow coming down hard. So the puppies need rest and milk to drink. So luckily there's cows nearby. So they drink and relax and get warm. Then, as soon as like the sunrise, they start heading out. All the while, Cruella, Horace, and Jasper are driving all over the place trying to find these puppies. They get closer to this town, and don't know, it was like a Great Dane or a Basset Hound or something like that, or a Collie, maybe, wherever the black dog is, and there's some soot around. Pongo got the idea to cover all the Dalmatians in soot so they look like the other dog, who is all black, so they can walk out of there and get on the truck that's bound for London. So they just make it onto the truck when Cruella finds out that, because some snow washes off one of the puppies' little disguise. So she ends up following the truck. And the animation here is sick, because especially when it comes to Cruella, when she do those crazy eyes, when it like POV shot to her face, it is wild. This woman is gung-ho for these freaking dogs, and she clearly, it's like Moby Dick, could not let this go. She need those dogs. She want that coat. She wants to make the Dalmatian coat that bad. But because of the bumbling of Horace and Jasper, they end up accidentally colliding into Cruella, which crash lands into a ditch, ruining their cars. And the dogs end up making it home in time for Christmas with their owners. And they end up adopting the other puppies and decide to use the royalties from the Cruella de Vil song Roger created to buy a nice farm, so the puppies can run around and play, and they can live like a pretty decent life, which follows up in like the 101 Dalmatians TV series, which I remember watching a lot of as a kid. Don't remember a lot of it, but I remember enjoying the heck out of it. It was fun. I really liked the 101 Dalmatians kind of franchise. Uh, so thank God, like I don't despise the remake as much as I did the live action Mulan, because I hated that one. Uh, but that was 101 Dalmatians. It's still fun, man. It's like great animations. I love that. It's kind of like the use of the black ink outlines of a lot of the characters is almost looking like black chalk almost. Uh, it kind of blends well with the whole blackness to the Dalmatians. It's kind of like, I don't know. It looks really good. I'm also very curious to know like how did what was the story behind Disney acquiring the 101 Dalmatians? Because I doubt maybe they didn't do it or can't do it because it's not as like wild as how he tried to acquire the Mary Poppins thing. But this was fun, man. Fun to revisit this film. I had it on the list for at least a year and a half. I was like, I was intending to talk about this this year. You know, I'm not making any excuses. I gotta do it because mostly to revisit it. But yeah, man. Let me know what you guys think of 101 Dalmatians. Oh, and something else I want to talk about. Use of the other animals. I can't decide whether they used too many or it was just the right amount. I don't know. And like the whole situation with the police and not seeing like, okay, clearly there's got to be some level of evidence. Well, she used Horace and Jasper, who, for all intents and purposes, there's no connection between her and them. But I don't know. Obviously, she would have been looked at very hard. You know, clearly don't have any evidence, but at least watching her for a minute. Of course, it's been a few weeks. Not a few weeks. It's been a little bit of time while Horace and Jasper are laying low. Why wouldn't she just skin them immediately? Well, or at least have them. Well, they'd be probably bundled that up. She would have had money to hire somebody to do the job for her somewhere, or have Horace and Jasper take them somewhere that's more secure. It's kind of weird. She could have gotten those the coats and skinned them long ago. She at least have somebody else do it if she's being watched by like police or somebody. I don't know. But anyway, I will see you guys a little bit because I got like other movies to, at least a couple more movies to review. But yeah, it should be relatively quick, but I was just too eager to talk about this. But anyway, leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think of 101 Dalmatians. Have you seen the TV series before? Like, what you think of the other? Because obviously, I didn't. It's been a while since I saw the Glenn Close 101 Dalmatians, but I know they wasn't using no voices for the actual Dalmatians. But Glenn Close still is a great Cruella de Vil. She was Cruella de Vil for the 90s, early 2000s. Maybe I should put on the list to talk about it some point in the future. Because that is technically a live action remake too, but one that people, you know, it gets a pass mostly because we wasn't drowning in remakes around that time. Because remakes were very rare. Because Scarface is technically a remake, but like I said, we wasn't drowning in remakes back to back every year. But I should put like the Glenn Close 101 Dalmatians on the list somewhere to talk about. Maybe not this year, but at some point in the future. But anyway, I will check out my review of Cruella, which is one of my earliest movie reviews, and let me know what you guys think of that. Do you give that remake a pass, considering it's more so like a prequel and wasn't like dumped full of like girl boss, agenda driven nonsense? Because like, I give it like a slight pass personally. But anyway, I will see you guys soon. Take care.